Hello, everyone, and welcome to DNM with Jasmine, a podcast where I have deep and meaningful conversations with my guests. And today's podcast is something that I've been looking forward to since the first day of me joining the course because I met this incredible guest on the very first day itself. And it's an honor to introduce.
Oh my God.
It's an honor to introduce the MPH co-officer and the VP of Elections at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, year 2023 to 24. Please welcome Goodness.
Oh my God, that was such like an introduction, Jasmine. I really appreciate that. Like I can't stop smiling right now. So thank you for that wonderful introduction.
Oh, you're most welcome. But yes, her name is Goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know if my listeners got that right, but yes, because I remember. Can I tell my listeners how I met you story?
Of course, yeah, of course.
So this is a way for my listeners to know that where we are in our relationship and how this conversation is going to be navigated through. Right? Um, I was in the girls' washroom after the class, and I came out and I was just, trying to psych myself that Jasmine, you're here, you're fine, things are gonna get better. Like I was just telling myself, Jasmine, something good is gonna happen to you. And I get out of the door and goodness happens.
Hilarious.
It's so cheesy, but that's exactly what happened. And I was confused. You said, I'm goodness, like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God, I did say that.
Oh, it's Goodness. Then that's the first time I met you.
Yeah.
So Goodness,
Mhm.
can you please go ahead and talk a little bit about yourself and just give a little background to my listeners about yourself?
Oof, okay. I don't like these type of questions, but because like I don't like talking about myself, I get a little timid that way. But I think I'm just gonna say some like quick 2 second thing. So yeah, hey everyone, I'm excited to be here with the lovely Jasmine. So again, my name is Goodness. I am, also part of the cohort, the MPH cohort with Jasmine. Um, I love walks. I love journaling. I also like to have fun. You can always catch me, with a coffee, Monster, or Red Bull at some point. And now I'm starting to get into, working out and other things. I'm very passionate about like health equity and passionate about policy changes and reform. I'm also passionate about like health communication in terms of like education because I think just basically child and adolescent health as a whole. So that's what I'm here for in the School of Public Health, and I'm learning more things about myself and building my skills. So,
That was amazing.
thank you. I just don't like answering these type of questions. Like it freaks me out, and I'm like, wait, what do I say? What do I say? So,
What do you mean? What do you want to know about me? I'm fabulous. That's
oh
it.
my God! Honestly, I love that energy.
Yeah.
I'm fabulous. That's it.
That's it.
That
That's
is
all
it.
you need to know about me.
Period.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
that's even though it seems like there's one focus,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's all different, but in a way convergent and connected to one another.
Of course.
And the question that I have for you um, is there a person in your life that has had most influence on you?
Mm. For me, I'm gonna answer that question in two parts.
Okay.
So, for me, in terms of like a physical person, I would say like definitely like my father. So he's a preacher. He believes in like community work, community engagement stuff. He believes in everyone has a part to play in the world. Um, I know at Hopkins we are like saving lives millions at a time. And when I first came here, like that was like very scary. Like I felt like a brick wall. Like I was running through a brick wall, and I'm like, oh, this is not. I don't know, little old me. Excuse me, saving millions. Um, saving lives millions at a time. Like, what do you mean by that? And I think like my father always told me, he was like, goodness, like you're gonna do great things. You're gonna do great things, and great things starts by you taking small steps. And for me, I think throughout like the journey of life, I mean, me being just 25 years old now, I feel like throughout this journey, everything that I've been doing, the small steps that I've been taking are leading me to the quote unquote greatness and the vision that my dad sees. Even if I'm not fully seeing the picture, I know that there's going to be greatness out there, and there are things that God, and that answers the second part of the question. A spiritual person, quote unquote person or being, will be God, because I do value like my religion a lot, and I feel like when life is lifing, or just when life is just happening to you, and you feel like you're not in control of life, it is hard for you to like, can I really get back up? You're in your head like, can I really be that great, or am I going to be able to change lives? And these are conversations that are like internal for me, and I'm always consistently having those conversations with myself. It's like, God, I am here on this planet, on this blue globe, floating, and I want to accomplish things. I want to change lives. I want to flourish in every realm, meaning like spiritually, physically, mentally. And again, I also want others to flourish, and I want to be a blessing. And I think that's like, for me, that's always keeps me going. And yes, lives, and life hits you, but I think just knowing that, we are here for a reason, and there's nothing that we cannot do, that always keeps me going forward. Meaning that if you are willing to put yourself out there, if you are willing to go through the storm, because storms are gonna come. We've all had the stormy period that we're like, God, what? I don't know about everybody, but me, I'm like, God, what in the world is going on? Like, what the hell? Excuse me, like, I signed up for this package and I'm getting the tribulations and the trials package. God, I signed up for the blessings. So like, it's just all of those conversations that I also have with God on a consistent basis, that I'm like, and I feel like God just always speaks through people. Like when I'm thinking something, somebody says it, and I'm like, God, are you testing me right now? Like, is this a test? I didn't prepare for this. So I think just knowing that, you are not, there's nothing you cannot accomplish if you put your mind to it. There's nothing impossible for you to do. And I think it's just knowing that we all come with strengths and weaknesses, and God will surround you with people who are able and willing to help you accomplish whatever. So I think that's my mindset, and just positive vibes and positive feelings towards everything because there's been people consistently throughout my life path and journey that have helped me accomplish different milestones that I never thought I could accomplish up to this point right now.
Yeah.
So that's my feelings about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you say that there's faith, and there's hope that comes from that faith that eventually things are going to make sense for me, and if I'm in the right path, and if I'm determined, things are going to happen, and it's all interconnected. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I also want to share that in the first month together, we had one more class together that we were a part of, and here's something that stood out for me. You are so young.
Oh my God.
And you believe everyone around you is young. You're like, aren't we all like 23, 24? I'm like, no, we're not.
I need to work on that. Like my age dar or whatever is just off all the time. So I always think people are like either my age or younger. I don't know what it is, but I apologize.
No. See, if you think that I'm 23, I love you.
Period. So
I was 23 pre-COVID, so I still feel that that's my age.
Honestly, we are all 2 years younger.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for still assuming that I'm 25. I am not. But yeah, I just wanted to say that you are young. You're so young. And and having these insights
Mhm.
at this age is incredible, and
Mhm.
I'm really glad that you have these insights. Um, but only a person who has a lot of energy and good vibes and positivity and just again that bout of energy um, enters a room and then just captures everybody's attention.
Period.
Yeah. So I really want to know. I hope that you're familiar that you have that energy, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
People tell me all the time. So yeah,
No, but
I'll take it.
is it your personal insight that yes, wherever I go, I brighten the room up?
No, because honestly, I'm just being myself, and I think sometimes people find that hard to believe. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you because this is you. This is me. Like this is me. And don't get me wrong. Like I'm not always positive all the
Yeah.
time because again, I'm human. I go through different phases of sadness, anger, disappointment.
Yeah.
Like, but I feel like, dude, everyone else is also going through that. It might look different for people because of the different life path they're on.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like if you can just capture someone's attention, capture someone's smile, like you're smiling right now, capture, laughter, be that joy for somebody, and be somebody's, like not the cornerstone, but be somebody's, source of like strength and happiness. Like if I go to goodness, I can sit there and talk to her for hours and she will not judge me, or I can sit here with Jasmine and we can laugh. Like those are those moments that get you connected to somebody. The moments where you can sit in freaking daily grind and cry. I still remember that one conversation that me and Jenny were having. That was the first time me and Jenny ever bonded. And we just cried about our families getting older. Random. I don't know. She started crying. I was like, girl, when I see you cry, I start crying. Don't do that to me. But because I'm like, this is embarrassing. We're in public.
Yeah.
But like, because we were both having the same feelings. Like, parents are getting older. We are getting older. We're like, oh my God, like, I want my parents to see my grandkids. I want them to see, me accomplish all these things before they go meet the father. So, like, we just had that conversation. And I feel like we are all going through a lot of difficult things in life.
Yeah.
Some worse than others.
Yeah.
But if you can just be that person for somebody, if you can just be a ball of joy, ball of happiness. That's why even when I wear my emotions on the sleeve and people are like, goodness, you're not okay right now. And I'm like, I'm not okay, but how are you? Because I know my things are not as difficult as somebody else's thing. I just know that. Because I know I've not gone through like different phases. Again, I'm still relatively young and I've not gone through a lot of experiences. But I know, like, if I can just make someone smile and if we can laugh, it makes me feel also better because I'm like, I'm sharing this moment with this person. We're having a great time. We're vibing. We're getting fucked up. I'm kidding. But we are vibing and just, laughter and just joy and just happiness. Because again, like, that's how you build connections with people through stories. Because I've heard so many stories that I'm like, what the fuck? This happened to you and you're still here and you're like, still living. I don't know how like you're doing it. Like I've had people share so many stories with me that I'm like, if I was in your shoes, I don't know if I can handle that. And again, we wouldn't know until we had those conversations. And for me, I try to have those conversations with people, and I try to be that person where if there's something wrong, I know you can talk to me about it. If you're like, goodness, I don't like this person. Blah, 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 blah. I don't, da, 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 da. There's something going on. Like, I don't like this class. I just want to cuss this person out. I am angry. Girl, go ahead. Go ahead. Just yell, scream, throw stones, not at people. but
Yeah.
if we need to go to what's that room? That they break a lot of, girl, we need to do that.
The break room?
The break, just like smashing
everything. Things up, yeah.
I would love to do that. Because it's just, again, those moments, I feel like it's gold to me.
Yeah.
Because those are the moments you're like, damn, like me and Jasmine really did this thing. Yeah. Me and Jasmine are talking right now, having a moment of our own. Yeah. Right? And when we see each other, we're like, oh shit, remember? Those are the moments that keep you bonded to somebody. It's not, oh my God, remember the A and the B's and the C's that we were getting in class? Like, or remember when we were studying for the biostats quiz? Those are not the moments that keep us bonded.
Yeah,
They're not.
absolutely.
Because in another term, we're forgetting about the biostats quiz. So I think that's what helps me out. And I just go ahead and start a conversation just randomly with people. That's all I do. That's it. That's people are like, oh, why do people feel comfortable talking to you? I'm like, I just start a conversation. I just start a conversation.
Yeah.
And I like outfits, so I'm always checking people's outfit out. Sorry, that's just me. That's my thing. I love fashion, and I didn't get into it until like COVID era. So if I see something, and I also like smells. That's another me thing. Like if I give someone a hug and you smell fantastic, I'm gonna be like, wow, what is that? Can you not be gatekeeping your freaking perfume for me? Like what? So it's just those things that get me started with conversations, and then it just flourishes and blossoms into a friendship from there. So that's it.
So talking about that energy of yours, I feel it comes from that place of authenticity, of genuinely loving people and seeing them for who they are, and the ability to see their stories and be able to connect with that. I can see how that energizes you. And I love that those little itty bitty moments of vulnerability are the moments where people just, crawl in bed and just lock their doors. But you use those moments to connect.
Yeah, and I feel like in the midst of vulnerability is strength. And I feel like for me, like, I feel like I wouldn't call it a weakness, but I feel like I am a bit of I don't think I'm an empath, because it's not like I carry people's emotions, because I feel like for me, that would weigh me down too. And I feel like I cannot hold on to the weight of some people's emotions. And I'm like, oh, okay, have you thought about seeking help this way? Because I know there's only certain things that I can, in my capacity, can hold on to. And that's just me being self-aware about how much I can handle. And it's like, okay, can I turn this person or turn them into the direction of seeking professional help? Because there's only so much you can do as a person, as a friend. And I think in vulnerability, that's your strength. Because if you can be vulnerable with somebody, they see you for who you are. Not what you've been doing, not your outfits, not the way you smell. They see you for who you are. And if you can strip away at the negative portion and see it as, if you can strip the vulnerability away, then what are you left with? We're vulnerable human beings. We're supposed to be vulnerable with people. That's what God places us here on earth for. We're vulnerable human beings. We're spiritual beings. So I feel like the vulnerability part is your strength as a human being. And that's what it is. Being vulnerable with somebody is just you're connecting with them at a much deeper level than surface level. Because surface level love, I don't know about you, but that's something that you don't remember. That's probably why our first interaction, when we were talking in the bathroom, I was like, oh, this girl is nice. Hi, my name is Goodness. Until after we met at the party, we kept talking, we kept in contact. You showed me your vulnerable side that we're not about to repeat now, but you showed me those moments. And again, it was step by step by step. It wasn't just a full force thing, and I wasn't forcing you to open up. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
It was a genuine connection.
Yeah.
And that's because we started taking baby steps.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I aim to do in all my relationships, because I know even with my roommates, when I first met them, they weren't as open as they are now. And I also didn't feel vulnerable with them as I am now, that I can just sit there and cry and, weep and snort rolling out down my eye, my nose, and tears down my eyes. I couldn't have done that with them until they gave me, you have to give people room to be vulnerable with you. And that comes with the posture of, I accept who you are. I love who you are. No matter what you tell me, would not make me see you any different. I still see Jasmine standing in front of me Jasmine before when she's opened up, and Jasmine is still the same after she opened up. It does not change who you are. So I think that's what we need to realize. Like, it's your strength. If you can't be vulnerable with somebody in this thing called life, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, because I feel like then you haven't lived until you've opened up to somebody.
I I'm just inquisitive and I'm curious to know.
Mm-hmm.
I know you
Mm-hmm.
from those little moments of connection that we've had, that
Mm-hmm.
your strength, who you are,
Yeah.
your power is in what you give as a human being, whether it's compassion,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's love, whether it's full attention.
Mm-hmm.
So in one word, if I can say, is your power is your vulnerability, you know,
Mm.
and the courage that you show to be vulnerable with people, right?
Yeah.
I want to know, goodness, have you ever felt bad about why am I like this? Why are other people not as vulnerable as I am?
Mm.
Because vulnerability, I feel, is also one of those things which can be easily manipulated,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
and people abuse
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that you have to offer, like your strength.
Mm-hmm.
They want to suck that out of you sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, have you ever questioned your strength and your power of vulnerability?
Yeah, and I think I'm also probably going to answer that in two parts.
Mm.
The first part is, I feel like, and we were just having a discussion too before, about sometimes I feel like people think when you're nice, you are just going to take shit. And it's like, no, absolutely not. Yeah, I can be nice, but I can also be assertive and put my foot down on things and be respectful enough where it's not like I'm not being an asshole. But I think people mistake someone being nice as they're a pushover. And that's, for me, that's completely not true. In terms of like who I am, yeah, I'm a very nice person, I'm a sweet person, but I'm not gonna let you take advantage of that. And I think for me, like, my power lies in me just being an open person. Open meaning I am willing to hear other people's side, and I am also very, I take constructive criticism, and I think a lot of people don't see that because especially with my roommate situations and stuff, I love them. But like, there's times where they're like, goodness, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. So I'm always open, and even relationships, I know we're not supposed to speak on that, but I am always open to see, okay, I know I'm not a perfect person. I know there are things that I might do that might hurt you, and sometimes I might not realize that I'm doing that. But how can we fix this? How can I make sure that, this grows into something? Friendships, family. What am I doing wrong? Can we have a conversation? And I think giving people that room to express themselves, and that comes from just being a listener, actively listening to what people are saying.
Yeah.
Excuse me, it does take a lot.
Mm.
It does take a lot of like courage. And sometimes I don't feel like doing that. And just to be completely honest, if I feel like I've wronged somebody and I'm like, they've wronged me too, I'm still battling with, I don't want to talk to them. Like, what, why? But sometimes you have to do it. You have to have those difficult conversations with people. And in terms of being nice, I feel like sometimes my niceness has been used against me in certain situations and taken advantage of. And for me, like, I always, and my dad always says this, you have to give people enough room to pull, enough like room to make mistakes and do all those things. But, sweetie, you cannot give them multiple chances and it's hurting you and stabbing yourself in the back. You have to know when it's the right moment to be like, no, fuck this. I'm done. I'm moving on. I am tired of this. I'm tired of you treating me like this, such and such. But then again, it's like, again, like, in such a short time that you don't know somebody, they're going to trigger you. They're going to trigger you. Even in friendships, you're just starting building your friendships, building your relationships. You're going to be triggered by people. Because again, this is relatively new to the both of you.
Yeah.
You don't know each other that well.
Yeah.
you don't know each other that well, that they're going to make consistent mistakes. But it's like, okay, sitting down, having that conversation, and then you can't just cut people off without having conversation like, this is what you did wrong, this is why I'm cutting you off. Because sometimes I feel like, I know in some of my friendships, I'm like, I take things and I take it and I keep taking it and I keep taking it and I keep taking it, and then I just snap. And it's like, you know what, I'm done, I'm blocking you, I'm cutting you off, and the other person is left thinking like, what the fuck did I do? Excuse my French, but what did I do? Like, I don't know what I did. And they genuinely do not know what they did because you never had that conversation.
But it's also not that one switch just goes off.
Exactly.
It's so much is happening and you just pushing everything down the rug, and
Exactly.
but it's just that one thing you're like, this is it.
This is it.
I also resonate with that. It happens with me as well. But goodness, it's so interesting that when we were talking about vulnerability, and often people think that vulnerability is all about showing your weak side or showing your vulnerable side, or for a lack of a better word, that this is me, and I'm flawed and I'm all of that. Being a good friend and being a compassionate person also means that you see other people for their vulnerability and not just show who you are when you're most vulnerable.
Okay.
So seeing others vulnerabilities, that I see the mistakes that you make, and I want to hear what biases are you coming from, and what motivations happen for you, why this happened, and just share with me. So it's that shared vulnerability, right? It has to work both ways, I hear that, and whatever you shared, it just deeply resonates with me, because I also believe that you focus too much on giving.
Girl.
You focus too much on, what the response is from what I put on the table. And we forget that, I put so much on the table, yet my plate is empty.
Ooh, it's a word, girl.
Yet I am hungry. I feed everyone. But why am I still hungry?
Ooh, girl.
How much of that do you think comes from your past experiences? And I'm just assuming that these biases that we carry, that because we are not treated well in our previous relationships, we try to do better in the next one and do extra and try to give more and hope that this person stays.
And that's the thing. I feel like if the person stays or goes, it doesn't matter. And I know I'm sitting here saying that, and it's like,
yeah, important insights have been shared in this podcast. So thank you. We're nearing towards the end of the podcast, and I play this game because why not? It's called Have You Ever?
oh Lord. Okay, I need to sit up for this one.
So there's just one hard-hitting question.
Okay, let's do it.
And this question is also for my listeners.
Oh God.
Because this is my way of connecting with them as well.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so this is a question for you and my listeners. Please listen to the question, think about it, reflect on it, and share what your thoughts are through Instagram, YouTube comments. Anywhere you're listening, you can reach out to me. So, yeah, goodness. The question for you, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Have you ever thought about what people will say about you at your funeral?
Oh, girl, hell no. And that's just a very honest answer. No, I have not. I have not thought about that. I have not, and I refuse. Because it's just not I don't know. I think like we go through life knowing that we are all going to go meet the Lord at some point, but we just don't want to enter into that reality.
Or accept that, okay, we're going to die
This
someday.
is real. So,
yeah.
no, I have not thought about that. And that's just me being honest. I just don't want to know. Because I feel like that's why I think people need to like cherish people who are here, who are with them, cherish every moment, and say these things. If you're upset with somebody, say them while they're here. Have that conversation with them. And I know it's hard, and I know it's easier said than done. But don't wait till someone passes away to tell them like you really love them. Tell them you love them every day. That's why I'm like, I just don't want it. I don't want to know. I don't even want to think about that. I think for me, like, just remember the love. Remember the moments. Remember how much we cried, how much we laughed. Remember how much we partied. I don't think I'm going to be like 65 partying, but remember all those moments that we shared. And I think for me, that's the most important thing. It's not about like, oh, I mean, yeah, if I cured cancer, remember that too. But sometimes it's about the genuine connections to me. That's the most important for me. Yeah.
It's funny how you answered exactly what your values are.
Girl. I can't with Jasmine.
So, in short, you want to be remembered by the values by which you live your life by. You know, so that's beautiful. Yeah. The final question is: we are going to graduate in, I don't know, a short span of time,
Ooh,
and
it's crazy.
yeah, it is right.
Right. We just started.
I feel like it was yesterday that I was coming out of the bathroom and you were like, "Hi."
I can't. No, but for real, like
Yeah.
it feels short.
Yeah, and surreal that, oh my God, we're gonna be ready to just take on the world.
And I can't believe that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, Marie, please hold me. Like that's how I feel right now. I feel a bit timid, but we will be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the remaining time till the graduation, what's the one thing that you want to accomplish or achieve, or while listening to this podcast, in the future, that oh, I'm glad that I did all of that before I graduated?
Whew. So right now, definitely, I know I might not be published this year, but I definitely want to get published with my new research position, because I'm part of the startup part. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm going to keep up with it, but just those moments that you had with your cohort, the fun moments.
Yeah.
You're not about to be thinking about professional development. It's important, but what really sticks with you is the moments that trigger some type of emotion. I'm just scared for graduation because I'm like, all these beautiful people, like, damn, like, when am I going to see them again? I'm not about to be sitting, I can't see you guys passing in the halls. I can't be like, hey, oh my God, when am I going to smell people? Sorry, random. But, like, it's just those things that I think about, and I try not to dwell on it because I am very emotional.
Yes.
So I try not to dwell on it too much, knowing that, goodness, we still have time with people. It's okay. Day by day. Just take it day by day.
Yeah.
Baby steps. The connections you've made, like, it's for a lifetime. And that's it. That's the most important part.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you once again, goodness, for coming on DNM with Jasmine. You have made my life brighter.
Girl, so have you.
Thank you. And I'm sure that my listeners are going to feel the same way. Yeah. And yeah, thank you so much for being here once again.